Yo, it's TD Show on the hot seat, we in the zone. All things ruthless, let your passion be known. Indie films and TV, we're bringing the heat. With fresh interviews, can't accept defeat. All things ruthless, we keep it real. Discussing the films, the stories that fill. From hidden treasures to the stars on the rise. Catch the vibe, see the world through our eyes.
I can't hear you, but I love you. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you.
All things ruthless. Home of the ruthless addict. With your girl, Tika Deshawn, yeah. We tapped in. We active. Let's go. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you ruthless. You already know the vibe with the ruthless addicts. Live online, hit that button, stay locked. We outside where the ruthless addicts reside.
Welcome to All Things Ruthless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
All things ruthless. Where the ruthless addicts reside. Stay ruthless, stay raw things ruthless.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Tika Deshawn, right here at All Things Ruthless, where the ruthless addicts reside. Now, listen, your girl just got done talking about From, and now I'm about to take y'all to a whole other universe, a whole other toxic universe. That's the universe of Zatima. As we know, Zatima has returned. It's not on BET Plus. It is streaming right now on Paramount Plus. So if you guys are looking for your favorite show, then head on over to Paramount Plus, check out Zatima. It's there, and the shenanigans definitely went down. If you're new to the channel, finding your girl for the very first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Might as well. Like, why not? Okay, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so that you can receive reminders of all ruthless content. Okay, and like I said, tonight we're going to go ahead and discuss season 4B, episodes 11 and 12. And have you guys watched the episode? Have you guys watched Zatima? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you're feeling about the episode so far. So bear with me as I get my screen together, and we're gonna talk about it because the shenanigans literally hit the fan when you get over into Zatima's world. Okay, so Zatima season 4B episode 11 was entitled Protect and Serve. Okay, now Zach is gonna always do what he do, but this was description. Zach extends a helping hand after Connie's fire. Angela begins to fall for Fatima's new bodyguard. Say what? Bodyguard? Say what? Yes, Fatima has been assigned a bodyguard, and we're going to definitely get into it. We're definitely going to talk a little bit about Angela. I feel like Angela be just doing way too much, y'all, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Angela. Let me know which character you guys were more excited to see in this whole return. Drop it in the chat. Let me know, okay? So with that being said, we see Fatima and we see our girl Deja. And Deja she gets amnesia, right? From time to time, she gets this whole amnesia situation going on. She said that that's because she fell on her head a couple of times from the stripper pole, as well as that concussion that Fatima gave her. But Fatima tells her, I just want to say thank you for keeping that little situation to yourself. And she was talking about when Leslie decided that she was going to be a stalker around the home of Fatima. And so, of course, Deja's trying to act like she forgot that any of that happened. Like I said, she's claiming it's a concussion. I'm just saying. You never can tell what Deja does or doesn't remember but one thing she did remember, hey Tamika, was the fact that Fatima has a fine, sexy man in her house. And so Fatima walks in with the blinky in her hand, and girl, first of all, that's not how you hold a gun, Fatima. I'm just saying that part threw me off because I love going to the range. And so the way she was holding it, I was like, girl, that is not how you do that. But okay, I digress. I am going to suspend reality. It's a TV show, right? But anyway, she sees that this man is her new bodyguard, and he's strong and muscular and grown and sexy. what are you doing here? And so we come to find out his name is Charles, and this is who Zach has hired to be, her new bodyguard. Now she don't care for the fact that this man is her bodyguard, so she's gonna use him to give her hot sauce. She's gonna use him to take out the trash, everything, except for be a bodyguard, at least at this moment. Okay, so then we got Zach who gets on the phone and he receives a phone call from Connie, y'all, and this got serious. This part had me crying. I can't even lie. Maybe you call me a big baby, but this particular moment right here had me in tears. This was when Connie, finally had to suck up her pride and call Zach and let him know that, listen, I'm going through some stuff. I've got stage 2 cancer. My house burned down. CPS took my children. I'm literally just going through it all. And Zach is, of course, Zach is of course, he's her ex, but he's also her friend. And yes, Tamika, it had me crying, girl, because, Zach was like, don't worry about it. I got you. Where you at? I'm gonna come to you. So he went and he's, of course, Zach is that friend. I was glad she finally told him as well, Tamika, because why wouldn't you finally talk to your friends? Yes, she told Tony, but she told Tony not to tell anybody. And of course, Tony, that was a secret that he was basically going to take to his grave until she actually revealed it. So I'm glad they finally had that conversation. But Zach ain't no fool. He agreed, yes. He agreed to help Connie, yes. But Zach is no fool. He made sure that he got on the phone and he let Fatima know, hey, listen, I need to talk to you. It's a situation with Connie, and I can tell you when I get to the house. But right now, I need to go. I'm gonna be late coming home, but I need to go and help Connie. And so of course Fatima was looking kind of like sideways, like, what you mean? You're going to talk to Connie when I'm just getting out the hospital? Girl, you self-induced that situation. You made yourself go in the hospital by holding all of this stuff in from Zach. But she understood, and which shocked me because Fatima normally is snap crackling and popping about everything. But this time around, she was like, okay, I understand and do what you got to do. I'll be here. I'll go ahead and cook some food. And that was pretty much it. But of course, when she tells the devil wears Prada, her thought friend Angela, that, Zach is not coming home. Of course, Angela always tends to think the worst. Now, Angela, you're supposed to be helping Fatima remain calm, but you're trying to throw, salt on Zach's game at this point, and it's stressing Fatima out. So she makes her way, and of course, she sees the bodyguard, right? And he's fine, right? Like for real, grown and sexy, fine. And so she sees his bodyguard, but again, y'all, I need Angela to stop doing the most because she's telling this man to pat her down. She's getting all in the unapologetically twerking position. I'm just like, girl, you giving so thirsty right now. I hate that they are writing her character like this. It's okay to be a fun person, but all of this stuff that Angela is doing is just giving too much for me. Maybe I'm just sensitive, but she was definitely working my nerves, Tamika. She was definitely working my nerves, just doing the utmost. Then she, like I said, she has this conversation with Fatima. Fatima's telling her that Zach is, going to take care of some stuff for his friend Connie. And of course, girl, you sure we don't need to do a drive-by? You sure that's what he's doing? Fatima trusts her man, and Zach is no fool. Zach knows that Fatima will wow out if he is out doing something that he shouldn't be doing. So the fact that she's there trying to, throw salt on the whole situation, make it worse than what it really is, I hate that, that part for Angela. But then we get Connie and Zach, who finally make it to the house, and Zach is telling Fatima, hey love, hey baby, I gotta bring is it okay if Connie spend the night, with us? And she's looking like, what you mean spend the night? So she has to, Zach has to finally say, hey, Connie, she's going through cancer. Basically the house burnt down. She got a whole lot of stuff going on. And just right now, Fatima, I really need us to be there for her. And so Connie, she comes in. She's always respectful. She's always been trying to be cool with Fatima. At least in the first half of us meeting Connie, she was not that friend. But then the second half, she became a better person. She was cool with Zach. She was cool with Fatima. She helped them out throughout the whole funeral situation with Miss Gladys. So that's when I started liking Connie. And then unfortunately, that's when we find out Connie has cancer. Well, even Angela says, okay,
in the midst of all of this support, Angela says, okay, well, I see you guys have got your hands full.
Okay, she said, I'm so sorry, y'all. She says, basically, we're gonna call it a truce because normally we would be at odds, we would be beefing, but I see that you have a cancer support. You are a survivor. You're like my mom and my grandma, whoever, they went through cancer. So, and she beat it. They beat the cancer, and girl, you can do it too. So this was the only time that I liked that Angela was acting like she had some sense. Like she was saying, okay, cool, got it. I got it, right? Like I'm gonna be nice because of what you're going through. So maybe later on they could actually develop a friendship because Connie's gonna need all of the support that she can get. But then we got Zach and Fatima, and of course Fatima has basically to give her approval of she can stay, and she was nice about it. Like there was nothing bad or about the way that Fatima said anything. Like she agreed to it, and she said, okay, well, we've got some food over here, do you want something to eat? And of course Angela said, well, look like y'all got y'all plate full, so I'm gonna go take my plate to go. And she does just that. She takes her plate to go. But in the meantime, y'all, in between time, why she need the bodyguard to escort her to her car? Like, girl, you don't need him. What are you doing? Angela, again, always does the most, right? So of course, it's time for him to clock out anyway, okay, because Zach is home. And at this point, this bodyguard is supposed to be with Fatima every time Zach is not there. So since Zach is there, he can go ahead and be relieved of his duties. But Zach told him, listen, I need you to come back tomorrow morning because she has to leave for work at 8 o'clock. I need you to come back at 7:59:59. He's like, nah, I'll be here at 7 o'clock. No, come at 7:59:59. So that way I don't have to pay you the extra money, right? That way I can save $1 or two, paying for your services. So anyway, of course, he escorts her, Angela, out the door. Now, in the middle of the night, Fatima and Zach hear something. Then they're like, what is going on? So of course, Zach gets up, pulls out his blicky, and Fatima's like, oh, I'm coming with you, right? Ride or die, right? I'm coming with you. And so he pulled, like I said, he pulls up his blicky, and she's telling him, put some clothes on. Connie is downstairs. And so he does that. Zach is like at home. He's comfortable. But anyway, and I know I'm moving through this pretty fast, y'all, but I had to. It's for a reason. But he pulls. He puts his clothes on, and they're getting ready to go downstairs. Unfortunately, they find Connie downstairs, laying in her own vomit. Like clearly, whatever she ate, it didn't fit well on her stomach, and plus the chemo and everything else that she's going through was taking her, basically taking her through it. And so they tell her, listen, we're going to be here for you. We have your back. You don't worry about anything. We've got you. And even Fatima, in the fragile state that she's in, she's wiping Connie's face and wiping the vomit that's on her face. She's wiping it off of her. And Zach and Fatima and Connie, they all, they hug because I'm letting you know we're here for you. We got you. No matter what, we got you, Connie. And so that was a very sad moment, even more of a sad moment to see, because Connie, like I said, she's been going through way too much. She's been going through so much, y'all. And what else can she do, right? Um, but we get Jeremiah, and we see that Jeremiah is about to go to therapy, right? He's going to rehab, I should say, because he's been trying and trying, and he's been on that stuff. And his mama told him, she said when he saw her in that light, she told him, listen, the addiction that you have is my addiction. You don't have to carry that for me. So he decides that he wants to go and get himself some help. But the nurse or the doctor, Dr. Fuller, is like, listen, the money that your brother put down, it's no longer useful. Like, it's already spent. But then she has a heart for him and says, okay, let me see what I can do. Let me try to figure out if there's a way that we can get you in here without paying anything. And of course, they end up where there's a will, there's a way. We see Jeremiah, and he really wants this because he hasn't walked out, and he's thinking that that she's trying to kick him out. But like I said, she tells him, we're going to work this out for you. And she finds a way to get him into this rehab. Now, this part was funny because Jeremiah, why you digging in your behind, sir? Like, that was so unnecessary. Okay, that was unnecessary, but it was a funny moment in a serious situation. And so he's being escorted into a room, and she comes in and she's giving him this medication intravenously, and he's saying that, he's saying to her, I don't want any kind of medicine, I don't want any kind of drugs. And she's telling him it's not any kind of narcotic or anything like that. This is just something that's going to help with the symptoms or the side effects of you going through this whole withdrawal situation. And so finally he allows her to give him that shot. But then the last thing he does is he asks her, to pray with him. And he's calling on Jesus. Like, Jesus, help me. Jesus, basically, Jesus, I don't want to be, on these drugs anymore. And literally, y'all, that was how that episode already, real quick, how it unfolded. Episode 11. So they're giving us these episodes, but these episodes are anywhere from 30 minutes to 20 plus minutes long. So you're not getting a whole lot. How do you guys feel about the episodes being as short as they are? I'm just wondering how you guys are feeling about that. I mean, it's TV, right? It's TV, right? They're gonna do what they can, right? But I enjoyed the episode. I was glad that it had returned. And because I've been waiting for the most, as I call them, the most toxic, the most toxic couple in the world, right? The most toxic couple in the world. So of course we got episode 12 as well. So y'all give me just a moment and we're gonna recap episode 12. Anyway, like I said, you guys, I'm your girl Tika Deshawn right here at All Things Ruthless, where the ruthless addicts reside. If you're new to the channel, finding me for the first time, go ahead and hit that like, share, as well as that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell so that you can receive reminders of all ruthless content. And I know, yes, I know I'm going through this pretty fast, but it's a recap, okay? It's a recap. And plus, I'm trying to keep from coughing. So we do have another episode to talk about, and replay game, hashtag replay. When you come through and you check out this latest episode or this latest live recap, hashtag me, let me know, hashtag replay, and let me know how you felt about the latest episode. Again, my initial commentary is that the episodes are too short. I know we have to kind of take what we can get, but they are too short. But then I guess they didn't want to, like, so to speak, like drag it too much, because we've been known to say that the episodes are dragging, right? So they just went and gave us the straight meat and potatoes of these episodes. So again, let me know in the chat who was your favorite character. Who was your favorite character that returned? Um, what character could you do without? And what moment had you choked up the most? Which moment had you choked up the most? And when you do that, make sure you hashtag replay gang for your girl, okay? All right. So, all right, we're gonna get into the episode number 12. Give me just a second. We're gonna get into episode number 12. Um, it really went down real fast. I may miss like a couple of words, a couple of phrases that were said, but it went down pretty fast, y'all. Now, season 4B, episode 12 was entitled Court of Opinion. Yeah, 25 minutes, Tamika. Like, what's up with that? Why wouldn't they give us a little bit more? But 25, 26, 33 was the longest one for the episode, the first episode. I guess that's just the way they chopped and screwed, cut it up to present it to us. But you know, I'll keep watching. And I call it America's Most Toxic Couple. So I guess I'm gonna keep watching. Matter of fact, when I get done with this, I'll be preparing myself to watch a couple of toxic couples on Tyler Perry's Divorced Sisters. Y'all come back on Thursdays. We're gonna do a live reaction or live recap to Tyler Perry's Divorced Sisters. All these toxic couples. I'm here for them though, right? All right, so here we go, y'all. Again, season 4B, episode 12, entitled Court of Opinion. And this one is described as Fatima accompanies Connie to her custody hearing. Angela questions her entanglement with Charles. What question is there for Angela to actually have? The question should be, why you keep sleeping with all these dudes, Angela? Like, girl, you gonna mess around and get it. Can they give her a STD so she could just stop being so reckless? I'm just saying. Uh, but we got Zach, who wakes up first thing in the morning, and he's trying to get him some morning woo-woo, right? But unfortunately, he can't get it on top of Fatima. She said that hurts her stomach. Then she was like, well, just do it from the side. Meanwhile, Connie is downstairs and she can kind of hear everything. And she says, oh, I didn't hear everything. I could just put my headphones on if you need me to. I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to get some walls, okay? In that townhouse, you should have turned that townhouse into a big house, Zach. I'm gonna need you to get some walls, okay? Because Connie should not be hearing you do your business upstairs or even attempt to do your business, okay? But of course, somebody who don't care about anybody hearing her business is Tatiana right here, aka Angela, who decides that she's gonna ride the pony of a stranger, just doing the absolute most. It wasn't bad enough that she could take this Ozempic shots that she was taking last in the first half of season 4, and during their passing out, now she's just sleeping with all these random men that she doesn't know. And for some reason, all these random men want a whole relationship with her. We're gonna get into it in just a second, but this particular moment right here was truly heartfelt. Connie was saying that, you know, even though I can't, you know, what do you need me to do for you guys? Because basically, Connie is not accustomed to anybody really helping her and her kids. She's used to pretty much doing everything for herself. And so Fatima and Zach have offered up their home. Of course, she's going to go and move to like an Airbnb or extended stay. But because her place has burned down, but they're also going to provide some attorney services so that she can try to get her kids back from CPS, because Fatima looks at her file and she's like, it's really not that bad. Actually, your case is not that bad. You don't have any abuse, no real, no real reason why the judge wouldn't want you to, have your kids in your life. And so, that gives her hope along with everything that, she's already dealing with. She doesn't need, because the kids are her rock. So she doesn't need to be even stressed out even more, especially with her going through her cancer and everything else. So she tries to make some French toast, which didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to. It looked like some meatballs. And so she ends up giving them some soggy cereal and milk and some orange juice. And Fatima was like, just take it. She's trying, she's just trying to do something. And of course, Fatima's like, the way you got my kitchen looking, no wonder you burnt down you burnt down your own place. But her reasoning was a mistake. The son Hakeem, was actually trying to cook one of the other kids some food, and she fell asleep, and unfortunately that's how the place got burnt down. But all of this is going to play a part when she has to go to court, right? So we get Zach on the phone and he's calling security because at this point, security man, Mr. Charles, is supposed to be there. But where's Mr. Charles? He's definitely at the house, laid up with Angela. And Angela was like, it's time for you to get up and start. Your phone is ringing. And he's shuffling around and trying to do everything to get ready to get over there. And he's thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna fire me. He's over there in Angela's robe. And of course, we're gonna get an extra visitor, but he wants to get serious with Angela. Now, why is it that Angela has all these options, but she's stuck in the world of she doesn't want to be serious with anybody? I understand, Angela, that you just come off of a divorce. I understand that part, but stop playing with these people. Stop messing around with these different dudes and you messing with these people's heads. You can end up unalive messing around with the wrong one. Haven't you learned anything from the last stalker that you had and Bryce attaching cameras to your house so where the world can see your business all over the internet? Didn't they just clear that up for you like last in season 4B? When are you gonna learn, Angela? I'm asking because Angela she just does the most. And I hate for something to happen to her, but it's looking like something's gonna happen to Angela if she don't get it together. But of course, Bryce is at the door, and who is that? So you sleeping with him and him and him? And the crazy thing about it is Bryce knows that she's sleeping with all these extra dudes, but yet he still wants her, which tells me that something is not quite right with Bryce either. Like, bruh, you see this girl is just, reckless with her body, and you still want her. I just don't understand that. But she kind of gets him to understand, okay, we're just friends and we're going to keep it like that. If you start doing anything extra, basically I'm going to kick you out my life. And he's, of course he's saying, okay, I get it, but will that work for Bryce? Bryce really doesn't know how to take a no for an answer. So will this work for him? I don't know. We got to keep watching. You have to watch Bryce. He's a very sensitive individual. Unfortunately, he tried to take himself out. And so this is one reason why I feel like Angela is trying to kind of, stick along with him, to keep him from hurting himself. But Angela, that's not your responsibility. If Bryce is going to keep trying to do self-harm, then Bryce needs to be checked in somewhere. That's all I can say. You're asking the right question. Same thing I want to know. Right. Okay, Tamika. Okay. So then we finally make our way to family court, right? We got the CPS lady there, and we've got Fatima, who is there for support of Connie. And the judge is basically telling Connie, listen, I don't want to, have to take your kids from you, but I need you to be in a better situation so that you can take care of your kids. And she's, saying that her kids are her rock, and she just, it was just a rough situation. She got her kids out of there, even though the kids was already gone. CPS don't know that. So, but she's telling them, all the things that they need to hear. And then the Fatima pulls that we on them, and it's like, well, listen, first of all, this CPS lady, she walked into the house without having a warrant, without having any type of permission. She just walked in. And so the judge is like, oh, really? So what we're not going to do is be reckless in our actions. We're going to follow the law. We're going to do everything by the book. And so if this CPS worker, didn't do what was supposed to be done the right way, then we're going to have to revisit that. We're going to get visitation for your children. We're going to let you know where your children are so that you can get yourself situated. Now, your visitation with your children is going to have to be supervised, but you'll get that visitation. And we're also going to have to question your children, because from the children perspective, we need to know what actually happened. But she is definitely Cuddy is definitely holding to the fact that she was the one that cooked the food and she fell asleep. So we haven't seen the children yet in this episode. And so I guess maybe the next 2-3 episodes we'll get to actually see the kids where they have that conversation. Hopefully Mr. Hakeem, who was responsible for cooking and almost burnt down the house, don't come in there and say, my mama told me to cook and she made me burn down the stove or burn down the house. Hopefully he don't. But she said he was a rider. He's not gonna, he ain't gonna tell on himself. But also, because I'm feeling like it's given she taught Hakeem street code, right? But we got the fellas that come to court, and they are there to support Connie. Fatima points out to the judge that, along with an attorney that she's going to have, she's got friends who are going to be here, who are here to help her, to support her in this entire situation. And they feel like that went well. The judge dismisses the court. They will convene on another session. At that time, she'll be able to, speak with her children, see her children, hug and kiss her children, right? Of course, they were a little mad with Tony, because Tony didn't tell, but Tony was like, listen, she told me not to say anything, and I did what she asked me to do. I didn't say anything. I didn't tell anybody what was actually going on. In the midst of all of this, there's a cop that comes in and he's asking who's driving the black Jeep and who is Tony, right? And of course, Nate, who always seems to talk so much, is like, oh, that's Tony. Now, if y'all remember on the previous season or the beginning of the season 4, Tony unalived somebody, or actually was it season 3? He actually unalived the young man who came into his barbershop and tried to rob him. And so Tony is like, okay, just take me. Don't tell my friends why you're, trying to pick me up. Like, don't say anything. Just take me. And they're questioning, like, what happened? What is going on? What did he do? And again, Tony is standing 10 toes down. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing about what I did. This police officer is taking him out. But my question is, and that was pretty much the end of the episode though, but do y'all think that the reason why this cop is taking him out is because of that unalivement of that young man? Or is Tony just parked in the wrong freaking spot and the police have come to remove or come to get him so he can just move his car? Because Tony will talk himself into some trouble. And Fatima was telling him, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Keep it. If they don't ask, if they don't say nothing, in other words, don't say nothing. So anyway, you guys, literally in 34 minutes, less than 35 minutes, I have given you guys the recap of season 4B, episodes 11 and episodes 12 of Tyler Perry's Zatima. I know this was fast, but I hope this is something that you can go back and watch again so that you can pick up the little things that happen within the episode without actually watching the episode. Okay. Spoiler alert. Yes, this live consists of spoilers. But with that being said, I just want to thank you guys so much for tapping in, tuning in, kicking it with your girl right here at All Things Ruthless, where the Ruthless Addicts reside. Again, let me know in the chat which character were you most interested in seeing on this return of Tyler Perry's Zatima. Question number 2: was it worth the wait? Was it really worth the wait? Are you still invested in Zatima? You know, it's been gone for a while. Was it worth the wait? Now that it's back, were you super excited for Zatima to return? Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. And lastly, who was your favorite character? Which character was the character that you were most looking forward to seeing with their storyline? Okay. All right, y'all. That's about it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And your girl, Tika Deshawn, is up out of here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tap that notification bell so that you can receive reminders of all Ruthless content, okay? And shout out to my Ruthless addicts over there on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for tapping in. With that being said, y'all have an amazing rest of your night. Stay ruthless.
Down the plot, sharp like a knife, unpacking the moments that bring stories to life. In all things ruthless, it's about you. You should follow us and see it through.